What if the most mysterious place on Earth isn't hidden in space, but locked behind wind, ice, and silence at the bottom of our own planet? When most Americans picture Antarctica, they imagine penguins, endless white horizons, maybe a cruise ship slicing through glittering ice. But that postcard image hides a deeper truth. Antarctica is not just remote. It is regulated, fragile, politically protected, scientifically invaluable, and increasingly unstable. And buried beneath its ice are clues about Earth's past, and possibly its future, that scientists are still racing to understand. Before we talk about tourists, skydivers, ancient forests, or headlines about parallel universes, we need to understand why this continent exists in a category of its own. Because Antarctica isn't just a destination, it is a planetary control system. Antarctica sits at the South Pole, surrounded by the Southern Ocean, isolated by one of the most powerful ocean currents on Earth, the Antarctic Circumpolar Current. That current acts like a moat around a frozen kingdom, keeping warmer waters at bay. Nearly 98% of the continent is covered in ice, and that ice holds about 70% of the world's fresh water. If it melted entirely, global sea levels would rise by nearly 200 feet. The Antarctic Treaty, signed in 1959 by the United States and dozens of other nations, designates the continent for peaceful scientific research only. No military bases, no mining, no territorial expansion. It is one of the rare places on Earth governed by cooperation instead of competition. But that protection exists for a reason. Antarctica's ecosystem is extraordinarily delicate. Even a misplaced boot print can last decades in certain dry valleys. The continent may look indestructible, yet it is astonishingly vulnerable. Despite its icy appearance, Antarctica is technically the largest desert on Earth. Some regions receive less than half an inch of precipitation per year. The McMurdo dry valleys are so arid and cold that they resemble the surface of Mars. And yet life thrives here in ways that challenge our assumptions. Billions of krill swarm in the Southern Ocean, forming the foundation of a food web that supports seals, whales, and vast colonies of penguins. The emperor penguin, the tallest and heaviest penguin species, survives brutal winters by huddling in rotating formations so precise they resemble living thermodynamics experiments. Beneath the ice, microbial ecosystems flourish in lakes, sealed off for thousands of years. Lake Vostok and Lake Enigma have revealed oxygen-rich waters and strange microbial mats, raising profound questions about how life might survive beneath the icy crusts of moons like Europa or Enceladus. Antarctica may be frozen, but biologically, it is not silent. The ice itself is a time capsule. Ice cores drilled from deep beneath the surface contain bubbles of ancient atmosphere, trapping carbon dioxide levels from hundreds of thousands of years ago. These records show that around 50 million years ago, Antarctica was not frozen at all. It hosted temperate rainforests, coniferous trees, and river systems that stretched nearly 1,000 miles from the transantarctic mountains to the sea. Tiny fragments of amber discovered in Antarctic sediment confirm that resin-producing trees once grew near the South Pole during the Cretaceous period. Then, tectonic shifts opened the Drake Passage between South America and Antarctica, strengthening the circumpolar current. At the same time, atmospheric CO2 levels fell, the planet cooled, ice sheets expanded. Antarctica transformed from a green continent into a frozen regulator of global climate. And that transformation is central to the story still unfolding today. Now here's where the open loop deepens. In 2020, headlines exploded with claims that NASA had discovered a parallel universe in Antarctica, where time runs backward. The story centered on an experiment called ANITA, the Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, a balloon-borne instrument designed to detect high-energy neutrinos, ghost-like subatomic particles that pass through matter almost undisturbed. ANITA detected unusual upward-moving signals that didn't align neatly with existing models. Some theoretical physicists speculated about CPT symmetry and mirror universes. Media outlets ran wild. But most scientists offered far simpler explanations. Rare particle interactions, instrumental anomalies, gaps in modeling, no portal, no reverse timeline. Yet the fascination reveals something important. Antarctica has become a blank canvas for human imagination. When the landscape is empty and silent, we project mystery onto it. But the real discoveries happening there are more powerful than conspiracy. Consider what lies beneath the ice shelves. Autonomous underwater vehicles like the Swedish robot RAN have mapped hundreds of miles under thick glacial ceilings, revealing submerged mountain ranges, canyon systems nearly 7,000 feet deep, and sculpted ice formations shaped by ocean currents. These hidden canyons influence how glaciers melt from below. When warm water intrudes under ice shelves, it weakens them like termites, hollowing out a beam. The Ross Ice Shelf, roughly the size of France, acts as a buttress, slowing the inland ice sheets slide toward the sea. If these ice shelves collapse, glaciers accelerate. In recent years, Antarctic sea ice has recorded unprecedented lows. This isn't cinematic drama, it's geophysics, and what happens here does not stay here. Tourism has surged. In the 2022-2023 season, over 100,000 visitors traveled south, most arriving by cruise ships to the Antarctic Peninsula. Strict guidelines govern their behavior. No wildlife disturbance, no souvenirs, boots disinfected to prevent introducing microbes. Yet even carefully managed tourism raises concerns. Ships burn fuel. Noise disrupts marine mammals. Foot traffic can alter fragile moss beds that take decades to grow. The irony is powerful. Many visitors leave Antarctica wanting to protect it more fiercely. They describe it as otherworldly, healing, humbling. But if too many seek that experience, the very quality they cherish may erode. Antarctica forces us to confront a modern paradox. Can we witness without altering? Human ambition has occasionally collided with Antarctic reality in dramatic ways. In 1997, a group of experienced skydivers attempted a formation jump over Patriot Hills. Thin air, extreme cold, and likely hypoxia contributed to tragedy. 3 survived, 3 did not. At altitude above the polar plateau, where the ground already sits over 9,000 feet above sea level, oxygen deprivation can distort judgment before you even realize it. Antarctica amplifies risk. The same environment that produces breathtaking beauty also strips away margins for error. Even seasoned explorers must adapt to a place where temperature, altitude, and isolation converge. The continent does not negotiate. And yet, Antarctica still surprises us. Blood falls in the McMurdo dry valleys, spills iron-rich brine that oxidizes red upon contact with air. Seismic monitors embedded in the Ross Ice Shelf hum, with wind-driven vibrations that sound like distant swarms of insects when translated into audible frequencies. Satellite imagery continues to reveal emperor penguin colonies by detecting brown streaks of guano against white ice. Fossil expeditions on James Ross Island have uncovered marine reptiles and dinosaur-era species that once thrived when this land was temperate. Each discovery reframes what we think we know. Antarctica is not empty. It is layered. Geological history, climate archives, microbial frontiers, and shifting ice dynamics coexist in a single frozen system. So why can't we simply waltz into Antarctica? Technically, you can visit. With permits, regulations, and considerable expense, you can stand on its shores. But the deeper answer is this. Antarctica is less a place for us to conquer and more a place that reveals our limits. It stabilizes global climate, stores ancient atmospheric memory, shapes ocean circulation, and tests the boundaries of life itself. It is both archive and warning. The shocking question we began with wasn't about mystery in space, it was about mystery beneath our feet. Antarctica may be the most important continent Americans rarely think about, yet it quietly influences coastlines, weather systems, and sea levels thousands of miles away. And perhaps the final open loop closes here. The real doorway in Antarctica isn't a portal to another universe. It's a gateway to understanding how fragile balance truly is. In a world obsessed with access and expansion, this frozen continent stands as a reminder that some places exist not to be exploited, but to be studied, respected, and protected. If this journey changed how you see the bottom of the world, stay with us. At What the Earth Hid, we explore the hidden systems shaping our planet calmly, carefully, and without sensational noise. Because sometimes, the most powerful secrets aren't buried in myth, they're written in ice.